So in this segment, this video is slightly similar to a video we've done previously about Frost, giving out more buzzwords and talking more nonsense about, wanting to de-escalate but then escalating tensions. I don't know what I'm going to name that yet. But basically, this video is about Leave campaigners being surprised by the decay in relations with the EU. So could it be down to the fact that you've taken unilateral actions twice? Could it be down to the fact that you're constantly sabre rattling and threatening to use the to suspend the protocol or use Article 16? Is that the reason why relations between the UK and the EU are in decline? Gee, I wonder. The deterioration in relations with the EU, partly driven by Northern Ireland's sausage war, has come as a surprise to those who campaigned to leave the bloc 5 years ago, the government had admitted. That's mainly because these people actually had no idea what kind of Brexit they wanted. You had certain people saying we're going to remain in the single market, only a madman would threaten our place in the single market and all this stuff, which if we were still part of the single market and customs union, we wouldn't have anywhere near as problems as we do now. Because half these people didn't know what they were voting for. Not even half, probably all of them. I doubt none of them knew what they were voting for, because if they say they did, does that mean they voted for the They knew they wanted the UK to be a third country. They knew they wanted the Northern Ireland Protocol, which separates the GB from NI in terms of goods. Because if that's what they voted for in 2016, then fair enough, man. They must have a crystal ball. I'd like the lottery numbers, please, if that's the case. You knew this was the outcome. So Frost was speaking on the eve of an expected concession by the EU to agree to the UK's request for a 3-month extension to resolve the dispute over Brexit checks in Northern Ireland, including those on chilled meats, nicknamed the sausage war. I think the EU have only offered an extension here is to avoid any, sort of the escalating tensions around marching season that are happening now, which generally can get quite toxic, which looks like it's going to be worse this year. So in a sign that a modicum of peace may be breaking out, Frost said it's absolutely not part of the plan to be bickering with the EU. So stop doing it then. Look for constructive solutions where you can. And he goes on to say, I hope it isn't part of their long-term plan either. I don't think it is. I think they've got better things they want to rather deal with. But the simple fact is, Brexit hangs over us like a long shadow. And the simple fact is we can't get out of it. He admitted that this would only happen if tensions over Northern Ireland were sorted out, and this is the thing where, the guys like him, these charlatans, will make a point that's good, which is that there needs to be de-escalation in tensions in Northern Ireland, but then they'll offer you bogus solutions. They'll say that, it's because the EU won't let us sudden sausages, like, our British banger's not good enough. It's like, dude, that's not the point. He says, until we have settled the Northern Ireland issue, which is actually settled, the Northern Ireland Protocol settles it, and put in place new balances on the right balance. Again, more buzzwords. What does new balances and right balance mean? What's that mean? He says, I think it's going to be difficult to get relations on the right footing that we want, but we absolutely want to do that. I mean, you've spoken so much and said nothing at the same time. What does new balances and right balances mean? What do those two statements mean? I don't get it. I'm like, I was going to make a Black Ops 1 reference, but it just slipped my mind. Frost admitted that campaigners for Vote Leave did not anticipate the impact Brexit would have on relations with countries Boris Johnson consistently refers to our friends and neighbours, but he's also sabre-rattling with these same countries. So this argument that he refers to them as friends and neighbours doesn't hold weight, because he's constantly threatening them with unilateral action, with suspending Article 16, with doing all sorts of nonsense. So this is ridiculous. A no-deal Brexit, etc. Internal market bill. What do you expect? You've poisoned the well and now you're mad that it's killing people. So dumb, these people. Asked if the British government had underestimated what sort of impact the protocol would have on the movement of goods, Frost hinted this was the case. Okay, so you're going to argue incompetence still. Great stuff. You're very bad at your job. Do not attribute incompetence where you can do not attribute malice where you can attribute incompetence. That's the argument he's going for. I wasn't doing this because to cause damage intentionally. I'm not Machiavelli. I'm just very stupid. Good argument, lad. Good argument. He said, I don't see what's wrong with learning from experience. That's great if you're a trainee. If you're a trainee, there's nothing wrong with learning from experience. But because of your ineptitude and the fact that you are learning from experience right now, according to you, you've caused tensions to escalate massively in Northern Ireland. So I hope you learn from your experience very quickly, my friend, because if the troubles start again, then that's on you, pal. he says, this is a very unusual agreement that we've learned a lot about how economic actors behave. I mean, bro, you're not a university student reading a case study. Like, you have helped cause this to happen. He said, we underestimate the chilling effect. Like, bro, we've already spoken about how difficult the paperwork is for agri-foods, right? There's like 27 bits of paperwork or something like that. How do you not know this? How did you not know there was going to be a trade barrier in the Irish Sea when you hailed the Northern Ireland Protocol as a great deal? I don't get it. What is, like, these people, what is the end game? I don't understand. A committed Brexiteer, the Conservative peer, said he felt the UK had experienced a loss of will after decades in Brussels and had become subordinate to the centralisation of laws in areas where the UK had legal competence. Okay, let's look at this again. The UK had become subordinates. That's not true. We played a key part in crafting EU legislation. That's nonsense. You know, we become a subordinate. Like, okay, even if that's the case and he's telling the truth here, why didn't we just become more dominant in the EU then? Why didn't we use the powers we had to actually wield power within the EU? Why didn't we do that instead of leaving? Like, this guy, man. You know, and where the areas where the UK had legal competence, what areas do we have legal competence in? If anything, we have showed ourselves to be very incompetent, extremely badly. It goes on to say the country had got used to not devising for ourselves. I mean, that's not true either. The country, you know, the UK made lots of decisions without the consent of EU members. I mean, we weren't involved into an illegal war in Iraq without the consent of EU members. So, you know, this argument we're not devising for ourselves is simply untrue. He said, and got lost in a mushy multilateralism. Like, what again, more buzzwords. Like, what is he talking about? He's saying that, oh, we got involved in just, you know, kind of mingling with each other and talking to each other far too much and not thinking for ourselves. Like, the amount of buzzwords these people throw out is ridiculous. Rather than think about outcomes, he said, well, that's ironic, isn't it? That, you know, when he signed the Northern Ireland Protocol, he didn't know the outcomes of it. He didn't think about the outcomes. He didn't know how bad the chilling effect's going to be. And now he's saying that, well, you know, Brexit's a great thing because now we're going to think about outcomes. Like, the irony of this man, it just, man, like, how do you lie so much, so consistently, and not realise you're a massive fraud? Asked what success would be like in 10 years, Frost said, success would be we have settled into a more normal relationship with the EU, one where we have gone our own way in a number of areas, potential deregulation, and succeeded. Nobody is questioning Brexit. I mean, that's not going to happen. People are going to be questioning Brexit for a long time. People still talk about the fact that the UK didn't join the Euro and how great that was. That was what, like, I think 20 years ago? People still talk about that. So this idea that in 10 years' time people won't speak about Brexit is simply stupid. Simply stupid. He goes, it was self-evidently the right thing to do. So the guy who said Britain will now think of its outcomes for the decisions it makes is the same guy who negotiated the Northern Ireland Protocol and didn't realise how damaging it would be to Northern Ireland. This is a man who has power in this country. He talks about, you know, looking at consequences, and then for his own actions that have massive consequences for Northern Ireland and Ireland, didn't think about the consequences of that Northern Ireland Protocol. This man's an idiot. And, you know, the fact is, if you haven't realised why souring relations are happening between the UK and the EU, it's because the UK keep acting like idiots on the world stage and keep threatening and sabre rattling, and of course that's going to cause a problem. But this guy still hasn't figured that out yet. But look, I've rambled on long enough. This kind of goes off from another video that I made. But yeah, this is like an extension, DLC. Bonus content, I guess. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.